All right, you guys. You just got rickrolled, but for a good reason. That is the tune to our song that we're going to be singing this week, and it has to do with percents. It's the idea of is of percent 100. So maybe you guys have seen this before. It's just a nice little trick to help you remember how to get percents from weird word problems that seem like they don't give you enough information. So we're going to look at these lyrics that I developed for the song. Maybe this won't make a lot of sense right now, but we'll come back to it during the lesson and learn the song. So I'm going to start the song over again, and we are going to read the lyrics, and it'll make more sense. Remember, the black is the actual lyrics, and the purple is the lyrics that I made up. Now, my cat is being a little bit much in the background right now, so if he's jumping around, maybe it'll just be an added entertainment. You know how it is. We're all people. We all got things going on in our lives. All right. So let's play it and let's sing it with the new lyrics. Never gonna get it wrong. Never forget this song. Always gonna is a percent 100. Odds is over us. Always gonna purse over hun. Then you gotta cross multiply to solve the problem. All right, so we are going to come back to this. Pause it, take a screenshot if you want so that you have the lyrics with you. There we go, my cat being destructive in the background. Hopefully that's entertaining for you. Okay, let's get into the lesson. The song is about this little thing that can help you get questions right. Always gonna is over of, always gonna purse over hun. So it's is over of equals percent over 100. Let's get into this first question. I think it's a good example of how we use percentages in real life, specifically sports. Sports have a ton of percentages in them. And so it's important that we think about something that we might understand in real life, but then learn the background of it and understand it a little better. So Curry, you guys know I'm not a big basketball person, but he's very famous. I know he's famous. I know he's good at basketball, I think. He is shooting free throws, and he gets 9 out of 10. Let's say the last one he does not get. And the question is, if he gets 9 out of 10 free throws, then what is that in a percent? So maybe some of you are able to say, okay, 9 out of 10, well, that's 90 out of 100. Good for you, that's 90%. If that's not part of your math ability, that's all right too. Let's talk about it more and it will become. So here's a look at 9 out of 10. But we want to know what is it out of 100, because percent is out of 100. So we're going to look at that, but we're going to pretend he did it 100 times, right? 10 times 10 is 100. So we're looking at this. He does it 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 times, okay? So that means he has 10 times that he did not make it, and it means he has 90 that he did make it. And so we know that that's 90 out of a total of 100 shots that he did make. But you miss all the shots that you never take. Okay, so 90 out of a total of 100 is equal to 90%. Now, again, if that is not something that's in your math repertoire, then that's okay. You can say 90 divided by 100, and then we know that we just need to multiply by 100 from the last lesson, and we get 90%. We're going to give you another little piece of information that might help your brain think about these problems. So take a look at this diagram. This diagram is saying that we have two totals, right? We have 10 and we have 100. Those are both totals. Our original total was 10, but we want to know percent, so that's out of 100. We know 9, but we want to know how many total would that be if he were to shoot 100. Another way to say that is, looking back at the question, 9 is what percent out of 100? And so if we were to look at this is over of, percent of hundred, we can replace the numbers from the question in the fraction and then solve using cross multiply to solve the problem. So it says, and I'll use some different colors here, 9 is. Okay, that means 9 is the is. So we're going to delete that, and I'm going to put in 9. Okay, it says what percent? What percent? Remember that whenever the question is about something, that's where we put our x. So you can kind of see down here that the x is here. That means that we're looking for what is the percent? What is out of 100? So the x would go there. And then the last part of this is that it says of 10. All right, so of is 10. That's what this question is telling you. So that means the of is now 10. So we're going to replace the of with 10. And now it's something that we know how to solve. We could sometimes solve these problems using the common sense method, which makes sense from our diagram that we had. We know this is times 10, so we know this would be times 10, so we know x equals 90. Another way to do it would be to cross multiply. So we could do 10 times x, that's 10x, and then we would say that's equal to, and so we would do the other way, 900, and then divide by 10 on both sides, and we get x equals 90, or we could say 90%. So I just showed you a lot of different ways to think about this question. So let's keep going and do some of these diagrams, and hopefully it will help you understand what's going on. So the diagram is just a way to visualize what's going on, and let's use the is over of and the diagram to help us solve these problems. It says here 35%. Okay, well, it's giving you a percent, so that means you put the 30 where you see the percent sign. Always gonna is over of, always gonna purse over hund. So purse is percent and hund is 100. Okay, took a little liberties there, but hopefully it's nothing you can't handle. Let's take a look here. It says of 45. So that means that the of is 45. All right, and then the other part of this is that we are going to see that it says is what number? Okay, so the is what? That's where we put the x. The 100 is always there, so you never replace the 100, and then we can cross multiply to solve, or if it's obvious, we can use the common sense method. Since this common sense method, since the common sense method is not completely obvious to me, I don't know what number when you multiply 45 makes 100. We're going to do it this way. 1350 is equal to 100 times x, which is 100x, divide by 100 on both sides, and we get 13.5, my bad. And remember that if what we're solving for is the percent, we need to write percent over it. Otherwise, we need to look, it says over what number, so it's just a number, no big deal. Now, go back to the diagram and take a look. We got 13.5. So would it make sense to you that if from here, which is 0, and here is 45, that 13.5 would be, a third of the way to 45? Yeah, to me that makes sense. So the visual is just a way for us to visualize what's going on using a diagram. We're just adding to your understanding, and we want you guys to have as many different ways to understand this as possible. Let's keep going. Another example. This says 84 is, always gonna is over of, always gonna purse over hand. So we got 84 is, it says what percent? So where we see the percent symbol, that's our what? That's our X. And then it says of 120. So we're going to replace the of with 120. All right, so maybe you guys remember this, but if you have a naked X when we're doing cross multiplication for solving proportions, you can just skip writing out the entire question and divide that way. If it helps you to write out the whole equation, then good for you, please do. Notice how it's asking for a percent, so we need to make sure we write 70% as our final answer at the end. Don't forget the percent if you were solving for the number above 100. Last one before you're going to try some on your own. Never gonna forget this song, always gonna sing along. Okay, that's not how it goes, but always gonna is over of, always gonna purse over hand. That's what I'm hoping you'll remember. So then let's read the question. It says 12 is. So we know the is 12. 25%. Okay, since that 25 has a percent next to it, we know it goes in the percent spot. Then what number? So, of what number? So it says of what number? So we know the X goes down there. And then the 100 is never replaced. Remember, the last part of the song is then you got to cross multiply to solve the problem. So if you need to cross multiply, please do. If you can do it common sense method, or, you know, we're cross multiplying technically. When we do this, we're just skipping the step of writing it out. Now, if you need to write it out, feel free. We're going to do it a little quicker here. X equals 48. I'm going to double check though. Is what I solved for a percent? No. Only the percent is above the 100. All right, you guys, go ahead and pause the video, and then you're going to try the next 3 examples. Also, I'll give you the password in a little bit. All right, you guys, the password is START. And if you remember from last lesson, 1.2, the last password was fresh. So remember, Q2 this week, you have a fresh start. So I hope that you're starting fresh, remotivating, starting over. It's like you get to try again like nothing ever happened. So fresh start. This password for 1.3 is just START, all lowercase. Let's take a look. I have color-coded everything. So if I go a little too fast, you can always pause the video here and come back and try to understand it. So always gonna is over us, always gonna purse over hand, then you gotta cross multiply to solve the problem. So cross multiply, remember I do a little trick. So I do the 2 diagonals that are not X and then divide by the number that was left out. So I get 216 is equal to X. Remember, if it's not the number over 100, you don't have to write percent, but if it is, you do. Going back through, we're going to do 123.75. Don't be scared of those decimals. The decimals are just like other numbers, just like every person. It's just like every other person. That's not entirely true, but we're all unique and we all deserve respect. All right, last one here, you guys. We are going to do is over of and percent over hand. Then you got to cross multiply to solve the problem. Again, I'm using a shortcut. If you would like to go ahead and, times 100. If you would like to actually write out the cross multiplication, feel free. Notice how I'm trying to solve for the percent, so I need to write percent after my answer to get it right. Okay, go ahead and try the next 3 on your own. Remember, if you submit, you can hit view in the puzzle piece. It'll give you the right answers, and you can check to see what you did wrong and try again until you get them all right. I hope you enjoyed the song. I hope it helps you remember this strategy. Have a great week until I see you next.